Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time to join me at our first State of the Ward 14 address. Today, I'm happy to announce that our neighborhood are showing significant signs of new life, ranging from development of single-family homes to multi-million-dollar renovations of our century-old factory buildings. We are seeing major investment of capital, both private and public, in our community, resulting in more business and real estate ventures. From the ongoing $946 million transformation of Metro Health Medical Center campus, $25 million invested by the City of Cleveland for facilities, recreation, roads, bridges, and street resurfacing, to the demolition of condemned and dangerous properties. We are rebuilding and transforming Ward 14 block by block, ensuring that those who make this their neighborhood stay here and get needed resources to improve and renovate, and are excited to invite in new residents. So welcome to the 2021 State of the Ward. Today we are sharing this information via YouTube, which hosts recordings of our local community meetings too. Please feel free to type questions into the chat box. Include your email address so that we can follow up with responses. My team and I will do our best to answer questions as they arise. But if we need to do some digging, we will follow up via email. I'm so proud that this is reaching everyone on YouTube channel. Other ways to keep up with what's going on in the neighborhood is to check out our Facebook page, Instagram, or our Nextdoor presence. You are always invited to call into the office and talk or email. Office number is 216-664-4238, or email me at jsantana@clevelandcitycouncil.org. My office is also located in the ward. It was important that residents had access to my staff and myself. Joining me today will be several local voices sharing their thoughts on the development in the ward. Today, I plan on sharing updates around housing, safety, community engagement, and small business developments. I also want to provide important COVID updates. 2020, as many as you know, was very challenging. Many were isolated and stuck at home, living in uncertainty. Yet our office never stopped working. There were many community organizations working together to provide up-to-date information. Specifically, my office aimed to connect food to families and families to the internet. So we partner with food banks to support our seniors, disabled, and the most susceptible to the COVID-19 virus by taking food, dropping it off on their porch, in partnership with Local 93 Fire Credit Union, 2nd District Police Officers, Journey Church, and our wonderful volunteers. We are committed to getting food to every corner of this community. We average a total of about 135 families a month and receive food with our efforts, but other organizations as well distributed food throughout the neighborhood. Popsy, May Dugan, and St. Rocco's. Thank you for your contribution. We partner with Digital C, a local nonprofit who provided internet connection for as low as $18 a month. The internet is no longer a luxury, and every household should have access to quality, affordable internet. We created a more diverse approach to sharing information with the community. Those with internet and social media have the fastest access to information. But as mentioned, we made sure that share information in every means because not everyone has Wi-Fi. We emailed info, put out printing newsletters, utilized robocalls, and even text messages services in both English and Spanish. The pandemic challenged each of us, but we had enough committed leaders to build a bridge to one another. The homes of Ward 14 are both our best resource and our toughest challenge. It is no secret that many of the houses are aging and need expensive fixes. My office has contributed over $250,000 in taxpayer dollars to supporting homeowners as they work to keep their homes in good shape, and millions towards affordable housing. With upkeep, renters have their own challenges. Some are priced out. Some have the place they are renting sold without their knowledge, and others need help financing their first home. Many families' top concerns are affordable housing, maintain housing, and being able to stay in the ward. Metro West CDC was recently given the green light to plan a local initiative to rehab vacant homes and sell them locally. in partnership with the City of Cleveland council members, I sponsored the legislation which passed last year. This will create at least 3 partially forgivable loan contracts with the Metro West Community Development Organization to rehab 3 vacant single-family homes on scattered sites in the ward. The $250,000 initiative called the Ward 14 Housing Pilot Program is funded by the city's mayor's transformation initiative, and this is just a start to the big changes coming near your home. The housing pilot program will help increase owner occupancy, which is greatly needed for revitalizing our neighborhoods. And once the work is underway, Metro West plans to add affordable homes for sale throughout the ward. I am committed to keeping our neighborhoods safe and secure, and the Ward 14 Housing Pilot Program is a vital step towards that goal. As rent rises, more and more families will see the benefit of these homes. Separately, the City of Cleveland is using the available land bank properties to build affordable new construction homes. The application process can be difficult, but after many years of being responsible tenants, the CHN lease-to-own home gives each person the key to the house. 52 of these homes are being completed locally. 22 have already been built and occupied in the Stockyard neighborhood, and the other 30 homes are in La Villa Hispana neighborhood. The average family income of these approved for the CHN lease-to-own house program is about $27,000. Congratulations to all families occupying these new homes. The Ward 14 Council Office, in partnership with Metro West CDC and Tremont West CDO, have been intentional about reaching out to local residents. It is important for us to offer home ownership opportunities for residents to stay in the neighborhood and not be displaced. Through many of these partnerships, Clark Fulton was one of 3 neighborhoods selected for Mayor Jackson's Neighborhood Transformation Initiative. This initiative is a collaborative effort led by the City of Cleveland to leverage private investment, stabilize the community, and position the neighborhood for growth. The Clark Fulton neighborhood was also selected as the target area for the Facts 50 Building Opportunity Fund, a pilot program created by the state of Ohio to increase the availability of affordable housing. As the target area, the Clark Fulton neighborhood received $3 million in low-income housing tax credits, which will ultimately create over 180 units of affordable housing in the neighborhood. Due to the Facts 50, we're seeing the start of development of several larger projects. These buildings have been underutilized for decades, and seeing them come back to life in the neighborhood and making more affordable housing is amazing. The Blanket Mills Factory and the St. Michael's Community Room were both approved to start redevelopment. The Astrop Awning redevelopment is creating new art center in the community and housing numerous nonprofit organizations such as the Rape Crisis Center, Gina de Jesus Organization, the Cleveland Center for Missing Children, and many more. Soon you will witness the development of Centro Villa 25, a culturally competent mixed-use development that will become an economic hub for the neighborhood. There's many startup or small businesses desiring to serve the neighborhood, but don't have the right space for their business or can't afford the rents. Centro Villa 25 will help address these issues by providing vendor kiosk, storefront retail, and commercial kitchen, which will help these businesses thrive. This investment activity is also allowing Metro Health to expand their vision of their new hospital in the park to include apartments and retail space. Hear from local resident Kyvan Bauzo, board member of Metro West CDO, also a board member and actor for Latinus Black Box Theater located in the Astrop building. Kyvan will share his thoughts on the recent improvement to the housing in the ward.
I first moved to this community about 20 years ago from New York City, and I chose the community because the opportunity came up to live in this area. It was closer to my family. I left my house, but I rented it to another family. The area was going down the drain, and I didn't want to be there no more. However, after my mom passed away, I started hearing about all the new development coming, all the new projects, and I moved back. And since then, I've been involved with the Metro West Metro West Community Development Organization. I've been a board member. I was elected about a year and a half. I was very intrigued and interested to be part of the community again. I always said that there's three types of people: the people that create the problem, the people that see the problem, do nothing about it, and the people that wants to be part of the solution. So I say, I want to be part of the solution. So I got involved and I became a board member. I also became a board member for Latinos Theater. That's also based in the Pivot building in my area, in the Clark Fulton area. And because I also believe the arts is very important for this neighborhood. I have chosen to stay in the neighborhood because I see the big development and big changes coming up. There's a lot of benefits to it. First of all, it makes the area look better. Across the street from my house, they just developed a new home. And I think it's very positive because those homes will develop for people with lower income, where they give them the chance to be able to live in them for 15 years and then have the possibility of owning them. So I think that's very positive because it's not kicking people that are low income. Actually, it's allowing for people with low income to stay in the neighborhood. I would like the neighborhood to be able in the future to look similar to what it looks today as far as the culture, the heritage, the people, but of course with more pride, with people see us with respect. Councilwoman Jasmine Santana is helping by collaborating with other organizations in the neighborhood, with the CDC office, with Metro Hospital, and other organizations that are involved, able to be able to collaborate and see what's important for the community and moving forward. Councilwoman Santana supports diversity in this neighborhood. I've seen her working very close with different groups in order to develop continue developing this area. That's one of the beauties of this neighborhood, the diversity of it. I'm Latino, and I like that there's a large population of Latinos in this area, but I like that also that there's more than that, and you could see it all around us. There's many ways the residents can get involved. It depends on what is it that you are passionate for and what you care for.
Thank you, Kyvan, for your support and time. I'm glad you moved back. Cleveland, like the rest of the country, has seen an uptick in crime. We have had the Cleveland police working hard to arrest perpetrators, but need residents' help. If you see something, say something. The Cleveland City Council recently passed a budget that allocated more resources for the Public Safety Department. The renewal of dollars will enable them to pay payroll, maintain police cars, and support police training. Carrie Howard, Director of Public Safety, was recently appointed. The new director is both young, full of energy, as well as balanced with experience. He interviewed with innovative new ideas, including plans to support healthy changes to the internal police culture. Together, my office and the local police forces will continue to tackle crime. New ideas are essential to balancing justice and fairness. 1st and 2nd District and Community Relations Police Department regularly supports planned community projects like food giveaways and school drives. Throughout 2020, the 2nd District Police Force, headed by Commander Stockel, provided traffic coordination for several events. Journey Church and their monthly food giveaways, moving about 100 cars an hour between Trowbridge and Fulton. Several Caravana voter information drives. Metro West and local police officers played music and answered residents' questions as they drove through the neighborhood. Christmas Caravana Community Tour and Christmas Toy Giveaway. In partnership with local firefighters, Hispanic Police Officers Association, 2nd District, and Community Relations all partnered to spend a day in the sleigh with Santa. Together, we gave away hundreds of presents to local families. Most recently, our office partnered with the Community Relations Department to host a Citizens Academy training. Citizens will have the opportunity to learn about the police safety process, history, and build relationship with police officers. Having a police presence is essential to families feeling comfortable, especially while COVID is such a daily presence. These activities and giveaways would not be possible without police support. The Ward 14 Council Office has been active in responding to residents' calls about boarding up and abandoned homes, submitting health inspection requests, and helping clean up the many illegal dumping spots locally. Last year, we had over 110 homes inspected, Ensuring homes are up to city code and vacant properties are not destroyed keeps the neighborhood safe. I ensure that when residents call into the office, their complaints are handled. And when our staff meet weekly to go over these complaints, we follow up to make sure designated departments are addressing residents' concerns. Each year, our office coordinates annual cleanups and places dumpsters throughout the ward for residents to dump. A shout out to Jeff, Metro West CDO Green Space employee, who works hard to clean up illegal dumping throughout the neighborhood when the city of Cleveland can't get to it in a timely manner. A majority of the calls coming into Ward 14 office are in hopes of improving the community, and I appreciate that so many residents care about their streets. Local Black Club President Ronnie Llewellyn shares his thoughts on the importance of Black clubs and their role in creating safer neighborhoods.
I've lived in the community for 4 years, and I've worked in the community as an employee of the Cleveland Public Library for over 9 years. I knew that it was a community that was in transition, and I came from another transitional community that now has become completely gentrified, and so I was very passionate about how that process occurs. So I wanted to be a part of the process. The Jones Home Neighborhood Association and the Second District safety meetings. The benefit about attending either one of those meetings is that one, you learn about the situations that are actually occurring in the neighborhood as opposed to the perception. So there's a perception that our neighborhood is very dangerous. Historically, our neighborhood has been a brown community, and I think that the perception of safety and danger in our community has been revolving around that perception of skin color. I think that when people attend these meetings, they find out that our neighborhood is actually not that dangerous. Perception is like a bad virus. You know, you put it out there and it spreads like wildfire. We have a very diverse community in the Clark-Fulton area. For me, the importance of keeping that diversity is very important because it's what makes the community attractive for those that live there and those that want to come in. Councilwoman Santana is very engaged in all the organizations in the community. She lends support, either financial or moral support or resources from outside communities. She's always there. All you have to do is pick up the phone or text her or email her, and she follows through. And she's very, very engaged in our organization. And I know it's not just our organization; it's all the organizations in the area, because she believes in maintaining that community engagement and making a difference in the community, which is far different than the past. When you know that your council person is engaged and cares about your community and you can talk to them about the issues, that makes you feel very excited and empowered to live in your community. The second thing is it also gives power to the community as a whole, knowing that the councilwoman or the council person actually is working on your behalf. This used to be one of the most engaged neighborly communities 30, 40 years ago. And my hope is that we will return to that so that we're not just a boutique community, boutique neighborhood. I hope that we actually become a standard in the city of Cleveland and give people a reason to want to move to Cleveland, because you have a sense of community where you can raise a family and be a part of something for the long term.
Thank you, Ronnie, for your thoughts and sharing your experiences. So far, we have discussed new developments around housing and local safety efforts, but so much of what is going on locally requires the input of residents. Through the work of council office, it is my first priority to partner with existing organizations to help them reach further into the neighborhoods and get in front of residents to listen to their daily challenges and build that trust. Each year, we sponsor various events held in the ward, one being the Esperanza Book Bag Giveaway. They are great at working with students from all over the community. I believe that community engagement is about doing the work and having a standing presence locally. With that support, last year Esperanza gave away 700 book bags. Last Thursday of each month, I shared updates through our community meeting. While COVID was impacting so many households, my office offered community members the opportunity to learn about the changes going on with local city services. These meetings have become an opportunity for many people to learn about the efforts of local police officers, project updates, and discounts that residents can apply for. Last year, we had the Northeast Ohio Sewer District, Metro Health Community Development, the City of Cleveland's Department of Aging, updates for the Mercedes Cotner Park. Just to name a few. This year, I will continue hosting these community meetings. These meetings will continue to be hosted on Zoom and are saved on YouTube for others to watch when they have an opportunity. Once again, community engagement means finding people who want to have a voice in their neighborhoods. I feel community input is what makes successful organizations and successful, well thought out plans. I want to continue representing Ward 14 community. I encourage Mayor Jackson to support a community master plan. It has been tough because of reaching into the communities take time, money, and manpower, but we have done much with the resources provided. The master plan is continuing to plan and listen to residents about the hopes around the community. The master plan started 2 years ago and took on 15 local ambassadors who would help reach out to residents in order to let them know about specific topics. Last summer, there were community meetings around displacement, aging in place, and even racial and ethnic diversity. We don't want people to feel disconnected from the work around them, but that means each resident has a role to fulfill. Hear about the master plan from one of the local ambassadors themselves, Rhonda. After years in the neighborhood, she stood up to be a local voice. She is a proud member of the West 73rd Street Coalition and in the process of creating the Halley Avenue Street Club.
I chose this community because I enjoy the different ethnicities and the different diversities that are reflected in this neighborhood. Well, basically, the Clark Fulton Master Plan, in conjunction with Metro West Community Development, Councilwoman Jasmine Santana's office, the Cleveland Foundation, Metro Health Hospital, and the City of Cleveland, it is a resident-driven master plan. The purpose of it is to receive opportunities and know what the needs are so that the residents can share their vision of what and how they want to see the Clark Fulton neighborhood. We encourage residents to attend these community meetings so that they will feel comfortable in sharing their views and concerns regarding what's taking place in the neighborhood. My hope is that this master plan provides a way for an all-inclusive transformation. This plan will include businesses, institutions, and residents. Basically, I am hopeful that it will bring this community together working as one. Well, the value in having these community meetings is so that the residents can feel a sense of connectedness with Jasmine Santana. I encourage residents who are interested in being a part of our workshop series to join us on April 18th from 4 to 5:30 and on May 2nd from 4 to 5:30, where we'll be discussing race and inclusion, displacement, and aging in place. This will provide a way for our residents to provide us with their views on these very important topics, and we look forward to seeing you.
Rhonda, thank you for your dedication and passion of engaging residents. While the master plan continues to unite and strengthen each other's voices, there are lots of ways for residents to continue to be heard. I am dedicated to the large-scale developments, hearing residents, and helping each resident shape a better community. Metro West CDC continues to host one of my favorite programs, Painting a Better Picture, a council office initiative developed to combat illegal dumping and beautify the neighborhood. This is the third year of these local beautification efforts, and about a dozen participants reused scrap from around their homes to make yard art. Painting a Better Picture hosted a yard art viewing day and, in partnership with Julia de Burgos, gave away 350 book bags to local children. Local community organizer Elena Zollers has the Painting a Better Picture. She also supports Seeds. Seeds is a free women's empowerment initiative funded by Ward 14 tax dollars in partnership with Freshly Rooted, Chef Yolanda Ramos, Rhonda Sharpley, and managed by Alicia Ellis. Seeds lessons are around cooking healthier, growing personally, professionally, and socially, and provides a safe place for women to find something new about themselves. Many of these women who participate in this initial Seeds cohort continue to join the program. The team is currently rebuilding their curriculum and will have another cohort starting soon. I believe that healthy women create a healthy community. Congratulations to all the cohort 1 and 2 graduates. Speaking of graduates, Ebony Jones participated in the program and joined forces with local community garden leaders to create a sense of place. In 2020, the Shalom and Tranquility Garden was started. Since then, the garden has hosted trick-or-treat activities, been the focus for 2 separate day-long volunteer projects, and is in the meeting place for the recently formed local block club. Let's hear from Ebony talk about how impactful Seeds and how she is able to utilize the lessons she learned to impact the community.
My parents brought me to this community in the early 80s. Within the last couple of years, I moved into the home that I grew up in. I am emotionally invested in this community, being someone who was raised here. But beyond that, I enjoy the diversity of this community. Diversity is important because they need to see people, period. Not just Black people, not just brown people. They need to see people that don't look like them, period. SEEDS, it stands for Support, Empower, Engage, Develop, and Sustain. Program for women, cultivated by women. So the benefits, it's no longer a dump site. It's brought us together. My immediate goal is making the garden an attraction for not just the ward, but people all around to come and see what can happen when we leave our isms and schisms at the garden gate and we come together into a place of shalom and tranquility. I heard about Seeds through a circulator from the councilwoman's office. All of my community engagement projects, she has supported all of them. She's made herself and her office available. She's always been very supportive and encouraging of the efforts that we put forth at Shalom and Tranquility.
Ebony is an example of the quote, "Be the change you want to see." Thank you, Ebony. Our community is blessed to have you. Metro West, Tremont West, and Hispanic Business Center supports business, empowering them with the information about important resources available. People interested in starting their own business can reach out to these organizations for help and guidance. Last year, they helped local businesses survive the pandemic. While many businesses sadly did close their doors, through the continued tax-funded support, many others were able to take advantage of grants and loans offered. 30 business emails were sent to over 100 local businesses and entrepreneurs to support them throughout the challenge of the pandemic. 10 businesses opened, expanded, grew, or were retained in the service area with our support. 40 businesses were provided technical business assistance. 29 businesses were provided rent and mortgage assistance through our local CDCs. Local economic development organizations continue to help business owners who are ready to transition into a storefront and storefronts who want to improve their curbside appeal. From writing your first business proposal to securing the bank loan for your business startup capital, there are many dedicated professionals here to help. My plan through this year is to engage businesses with a community survey, an effort to learn more about their challenges that they face. My office and staff promoted store openings, special sales, and continues to look for opportunities to partner. Seeing small businesses succeed is another important component of restoring local commercial building stock. One woman who took advantage of local resources and participated in the Seeds program is Tanisha Velez, lead grower, entrepreneur of Cleveland Fresh.
So I lived here my whole life. I was born in Metro, raised in different parts of the Ward 14 community. What's special about the community is that it reminds me of Puerto Rico in so many different ways. And also it's just the culture and the different ethnicities here. It just brings the whole world in one spot. Cleveland Fresh is an agriculture operation that focuses on indoor growing and microgreens. Our inspiration came back in 2017 when Hurricane Maria destroyed Puerto Rico. So it made me dig deeper into figuring out what are quick crops and how can we grow, bounce back from agriculture in Cleveland, just in case something happens. So some of the struggles are that a lot of my clients were restaurants because they knew what microgreens were. So with them getting hurt by the pandemic, they kind of dropped me because it was an extra expense that they were taking on. But the positive note was that it gave me a chance to pivot into showing and educating residents and everyday people about microgreens and their benefits. Cleveland Fresh right now is working on a couple projects to help increase food access and decrease food deserts in Ward 14. And we're creating a pilot program to help support community gardens with funding, extra volunteers, or any efforts that they would need. We're also creating a scholarship program that helps residents that want to dig deeper into community gardening. So those are some of the things that we're doing in order to increase those efforts for residents to be more active in gardening, because it helps them not only know where their food comes from, but eat healthier and live a little bit longer. So Councilwoman Jasmine Santana helps Cleveland Fresh with its efforts to increase food access by funding, also by helping us bring in more buy-in from community and stakeholders. She also helps us by putting in the communication through her newsletter and spread the word about healthy eating. Also about just being out there in the community to share the space, right, to grow healthier foods for the community to be in. So my hopes and dreams and aspirations for the community is to gather together around one simple effort, and that's to grow food and to be strong and to have gardens everywhere, but that's not sustainable, but having sustainable systems in these community gardens, but also bringing a space for children to be in and family to gather around and to teach that next generation about gardening and living sustainable. Because it's just beautiful to see everybody around for one simple message to grow food. Also because of the different culture diversity in this community, it's just beautiful to see different kinds of food growing all in one space.
Thank you, Tanisha. You are a shero. To keep up with what is going on in the neighborhood, check out our Facebook page, Instagram, or our next door presence. You are always invited to call into the office and talk or email. Office number is 216-664-4238, or email me at jsantana@clevelandcitycouncil.org. In closing, I want to thank all the residents of Ward 14 who have devoted time and energy to various community events. When we come together, when we take ownership of our community, good things happen. Over the last year, despite the pandemic, we made a great progress in our ward. I wish that I had more time to thank everyone. And there is a lot of information that we had to cut in order to keep this speech at a reasonable time. Thank you, everyone. Please reach out to our office if you have more questions. And though we still face some tough challenges, I am confident we are heading in the right direction. Let's keep the momentum going. My final reminder is to get vaccinated. It's the only way to ensure our ward and the city move forward and get us back to our regular life of visiting each other and breaking bread together. Also, register to vote. Voting is your voice. It's our responsibility as citizens. Voting is a very important part of any democracy, and to elect leaders that represent you and your ideas. Once again, it is a pleasure to serve as the Ward 14 council person. Thank you for your time and attention.